Hey, how's it going, guys? I'm Paradoxic, and welcome back to Marvel's Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. This time on Season 2, Episode 3, titled Making Friends and Influencing People. Bit of a long title for an episode, but I'm digging it. Last time what did we have last time? We had Heavy is the Head. We had Heavy is the Head, Episode 2 of Season 2. And we had Raina returning. Raina returned. We knew she was still alive. We saw her at the end of Season 1. Meeting up with Sky's father, played by Kyle MacLachlan. I'm hoping I'm pronouncing that right. But he's a very, very, very nice addition to the cast, similar to how Bill Paxton was introduced and casted to Season 1. So looking forward to seeing how he's actually executed as Sky's father, because that is the role he seems confirmed to play at this point. So excited to see how that gets pulled off. But she returned, and she was given the mission by him of actually retrieving the obelisk. And we found out two interesting things. Technically one interesting thing, and the main interesting thing was that, she can touch the obelisk. Raina herself can touch the obelisk, and it glows. It like with no one else does it glow. It just turns everyone else it touches to stone and stuff. But with her, the symbols show up, those little circle line symbols that Coulson keeps drawing, and it glows too. So she can touch it, and apparently the obelisk has more to show than just that. And Sky's father, we don't know his name yet, but Sky's father said, bring me my daughter and I'll show you more of what it can do. So I think now she's being given the mission of actually, probably not kidnapping her, but just, maybe actually visiting S.H.I.E.L.D. in some way, and actually taking Sky to visit her father. So if she does we don't know where S.H.I.E.L.D's new headquarters is, but if she does somehow manage to send a message to Sky and say that, I can take you to your father, that's going to be a pretty big offer that she can't refuse. That's going to be an offer that she can't possibly refuse, especially if it's a chance to learn about her own history. But we had that, and we had more of Coulson writing the symbols on the wall. But now we know that it's an episode that he has every week or every few weeks. And May helps him through it. She gives him the time that they shut the blinds down. Just prepare a nice blank wall for it, set down like a little blanket and everything, to protect the floor from the dust and everything. And she keeps photos, or she takes photos of everything he draws, and they keep a log of it. So they don't know what any of this means. They don't know why this is happening. I think my guess is that it's the GH325 in him. We know it came from that blue alien, and we also know that we saw a tease of the blue alien back in episode 1 when they showed Agent Carter and the Commandos actually, taking down the last Hydra base and rounding up all their little relics. We saw Dugan opening a box, and we saw something blue inside, like an arm, and it most likely was that alien, and that alien had the symbols along its skin, those same symbols. So the obelisk, the alien, the GH225, it has to be linked somehow, has to be connected somehow. And with Coulson, I think with Coulson, I think it took longer for him to actually start doing this stuff. But with Garrett, he'd start doing it almost immediately, almost as soon as he got the GH325 inside the system. He started doing it on the wall, on the door, even on the glass door. And then Coulson saw that in the middle of the night, and then started writing on the wall. So. Yeah, but the way those scenes are executed is really, really nice. Like the camera shots, the angles, the way Clark actually pulls off that kind of scene, that kind of direction, and the music especially. Like Bear McCreary is phenomenal in this show. Bear McCreary is phenomenal. So the music alone in that scene sends chills up my spine. I get goosebumps every time I listen to that. So it's just a really well done scene. So I can't wait to see exactly what it all means and how it's all connected. But that is my theory. It's all connected. Obelisk, alien, and serum. So yeah. That was that. So they are keeping track of what he's doing, but they just don't know what it means just yet. We had Hunter meeting up with Talbot, and he made a deal with him. I think he made a deal. I think with for funerals mainly, funerals for Hartley and Idaho, so that their family could get some closure. As well as I think he either said 2 million. I think it doesn't sound plausible he'd say 2 billion, but he did say 2 million, money for for like I think the money he asked from Talbot was probably just for the deal that they had. But then when he went back to Shield and met with Coulson again, he did say that he wanted his pay, but he also wanted Idaho and Hartley's pay, so that he could give that money to their families and give them some severance kind of closure as well. So yeah, but I mean his pay is mainly just because he's a mercenary and he does expect money for his his work. But with the Hartley and Idaho, they're dead. Their families deserve some closure. They deserve like a way to actually move on and some financial aid and stuff. So yeah, and I think that money, I think his Hartley's sister has cancer as well, so that money could actually help go towards covering any medical fees that she has. So yeah, I think in that sense he's just thinking of his friends pretty much. But by the end of the episode, Hartley thinking Hunter did kind of betray the team under the pretense of the Boy Scouts code, like the Scouts honor thing, and he never was a Boy Scout. But he shot May with an ISA, which Coulson pointed out that that would come back to bite him in the ass, because May is not one that keeps grudges. She saves them. She remembers it every day until the final day comes. And we saw exactly how that went down with Ward. So. Yeah, and we haven't seen him in a while. We haven't seen Ward in a while. I mean, which I'm not complaining. I don't want to see him, but it just goes to show that like they don't constantly need information from him. But when they do, it's useful to have him around for something. But in the end, Coulson did make him the offer of actually becoming a SHIELD agent, because Hunter does, as a mercenary as well. Hunter does have a skill set that he could really put to good use, and Coulson is somewhat down on manpower, so SHIELD needs all the help it can get. So yeah, I mean, I personally think that Hunter would be a great addition to the team, but whether or not they actually go down that route, I'm interested to see. So yeah, him becoming a SHIELD agent might just be something good for the books. But we had that. We had Mac and Fitz doing some bonding. I think Mac seems like a really cool guy. I said in the last episode, he just seems like a big teddy bear. But he seemed to get along really well with Fitz, and he knows I think for the most part he does know his way around tech. But it's just it's good to actually get the professional opinion from Fitz. But Fitz, in the condition he's in, he doesn't really talk much to anyone else. He has Simmons in his mind, for like helping him get his words out and stuff like that, and just kind of him talking to himself pretty much. So he's not really in the best state of mind. But in the last episode, Mac really seemed to get along with him, and he actually treated him like another human being, whereas the other scientists were just like just giving him the side eye and acting all cautious and nervous around him. Like he even says says his main concern is that everyone avoids him like the plague or something. Like they treat him like he's different, or that he's about to break or something. They don't know how to talk to him or anything. But Mac, he just treats him like another human being. Like he even referenced his the whole talking to himself thing, saying I sing in the shower sometimes, so it's not the same thing, but I can relate. And helped him find some of his old designs to help stop Creel, which they did, and handed him back over to Talbot to keep into cryogenic freezing and stuff. So yeah, I think Mac and Fitz, I have a feeling they've got a great friendship on the way, but that episode alone was a great kind of was a great thing to see their bonding, and they managed to put the cloaking tech together as well, for the bus and the Quinjet, which at the end they revealed it perfectly. But yeah, things seem to be picking up. Things seem to be picking up from where we left off. Like Coulson is slowly putting stuff back together, but they do have a whole load of threats out there, especially Dr. Whitehall, the age-old Nazi, who's after the obelisk. So yeah, but now, so Creel has it no more. So Raina and Sky's father have it. So I mean, does that mean they're going to be on Hydra's radar now? Are they going to be under attack somehow? I don't know, but we'll see. We'll see how this stuff goes. But yeah, just this season's going really great so far, so I can't wait to see where it all goes from here. But there is only one way to find that out. So episode 3, making friends and influencing people. Let's go.
What? I had a hunch. I bought a case.
Oh, he's mastered the American accent. Moved on from Heil Hitler to
$10.
God bless America.
So expensive back then. Are you ready to comply, Agent 33?
Agent 33.
Never work for Hydra.
Yeah, that's my girl.
I expected it to be
Yeah,
a long night.
never surrender, never give in.
I decided to treat
You can do this all day. You're not a cat, but you can still do this all day. Simmons! This is present day Simmons, right? Not some kind. This isn't a manifestation. Yeah. Okay, that's cool. Finally seeing Simmons after all this time.
I keep to myself.
Oh, rocking the shorter hair, I like it. All the ladies in this new season have great hair. Great hair. Gemma Simmons. Access granted. Where's she working?
Oh, I'll read all about it once you finish your report. Have it on my desk.
Hydra? No. No. No, the Simmons I know would never do. What? She's working for Hydra? The Simmons I know would never work for Hydra. No, that is impossible.
You would have known better than to shoot us.
Apology number 470. I am very sorry, Agent May.
Don't be sorry. Just wait.
We just have a little wager.
You know Hartley? She loved her blade, hated guns. Idaho, if on a job, someone...
Xena loved her blades, not surprising at all. Oh, she even has a Hydra badge! Simmons, what are you doing?
Who were you speaking to? Huh?
They threatened me. They said you were dangerous.
Donnie!
Mr. Gill. We don't want to hurt you.
Oh, damn it.
Stand down, Abe.
Oh, crap. Oh, he's next. Yeah. Ugh. So when SHIELD blew up, I assume the sandbox fell down. Maribel Delta. Deliver asset to... Oh, is Hydra after him? Did Whitehall send those agents after? Oh, damn! That is brutal, for one thing.
Did you think I wouldn't?
Coulson! He found her!
They're keeping me sequestered in the downstairs lab. I usually advance much.
Is she working for Hydra under Coulson's orders? Did he send her to Hydra?
Rudimentary biochem.
Undercover. Is
Oh, okay, that makes more
If
sense.
you're gonna move up in Hydra, you need to make friends.
Be like,
Damn, that is one hell of a mission.
lie like he did. So, how is everyone?
Fitz is okay. He's hanging in there.
Really? He's hanging in there? What, by like a thread or like the tip of a needle? Huh,
You think they're
Coulson?
trying to recruit?
Angry, on drugs, friendly, sleeping.
Yeah.
Sleeping?
No. What, the one they go back on?
Friendly.
Friendly.
Oh, so Mac's helping him with his words now, huh? Okay, that's
No,
cool.
he had trouble making friends.
Because while a SHIELD agent is considering right and wrong, Hydra's already taken the shot.
They have no morality, no moral code. They kill if, you know, if they find that it's necessary. Which 9 times out of 10, they do. Freezing up the ship. The Maribel Del Mar. Oh yeah, that's where they were meant to take him, yeah. So meant to ship him across the country. From Marrakesh to the States.
You are wanted upstairs for questioning.
Is this regarding my analysis?
It's a security matter.
Oh shit.
Yes,
Oh
these men will
shitty
escort you.
shit.
What did you do?
A security issue? Oh no.
I'm sure you have nothing to worry about. Have a seat.
Oh, it's him. It's Dr. Bakshi. Or Mr. Bakshi. Not Doctor.
Stay close,
Oh no.
in case there are consequences. You've been lying to us. You seem nervous.
Yeah, you just said there'd be consequences. Of course she's nervous.
I was a 17-year-old girl with 2 PhDs and a million
2
questions.
PhDs at 17,
SHIELD had the
damn.
resources to help me answer them. Now they don't, and Hydra does.
So your loyalties are with us.
Hell no.
Loyalties can be tested.
How are you gonna test them? You gonna make her record a video of her dissing SHIELD?
Cling to your... Are you ready to comply?
No, stay strong, Agent. Stay strong. You can do this all day. Remember that. You can do this all day.
Kennick's on assignment and won't be hogging the Xbox.
You're on Xbox? Jesus.
Why don't
I
you
mean,
have
no
that?
I should
no
be going.
dissing here.
I mean, I knew him.
PlayStation for the
Forgot
win.
about it, is what it is.
Now we have a second chance.
Oh,
With you.
that's how they're gonna test her
Friendly,
loyalty.
Honest face.
Yeah.
Maybe we'll have
They're
better
gonna
luck.
use her to convince him to go with them.
He's dangerous, isn't he?
Don't worry. We'll have your back every step of the way.
Yeah, until you shoot her in it.
I'm not interested. I'm not afraid.
He's pissed off.
I'm pissed off.
Yeah, he's pissed off.
And every Hydra agent they send is going to feel it.
Damn, well, this is something this is something I didn't expect. Donnie is ready to fight. Should have known that from the beginning, but yeah, he's ready to fight back. Vote D. Vote D, no! No, he's got, no, don't see Ward! Why are you visiting Ward? He did this to you.
I imagine you've got a lot to say to me.
Fitz, no, leave now. Leave now, please. For me, leave.
It's really good to see you.
Oh God, Fitz.
Fitz?
Stop.
No, don't you say a word to him. You did this to him. You are the reason he's in this condition. Oh, Fitz, please. Why did you have to go down there? What answers could he possibly give you?
Hypoxia.
Hypoxia.
Found that one. That's what you did to me.
Hypoxia. What's hypoxia? Wait, what?
What it's like when you're deprived.
Oh no, he's taking away the oxygen. He's taking away the oxygen in his cell.
The brain cells. They react first. They die. 3 minutes. Damage is permanent.
Where's Sky?
Gone. They're all gone.
Oh my
And
God.
I should be there with them, but I can't be because of you, because of what you did to me. I'm damaged.
It's good to see Hunter working with them now instead of putting a bullet in their back.
He took the sandbox for Hydra.
Hydra recruited Gill?
What?
The brain.
They brainwashed him, and they're going to retrigger his programming if they can.
Oh, that's the surrender thing.
I spoke to Ward.
Okay.
We'll talk about that when I get home.
He's such a dad. Like, you did what? Okay,
Not
useful, but not what we agreed upon.
Simmons.
Oh, damn. Wait, did she just shoot Hunter? Did she shoot Hunter? Oh, god damn. Oh, throws her jacket off.
Agent May shot me.
Repeat?
Yeah.
May shot me.
Yeah.
I wanted to be the one.
Repeat.
Are you ready to comply?
Freeze him now, Donnie.
I'm happy to comply.
Prove it then.
God, that is straight up Winter Soldier stuff. That is straight up Winter Soldier stuff. Whoa. Oh, crap. Ooh, that's a hard fall. Straight through a block of ice. But he can survive it, right? I mean... Yeah, I think he'll just freeze himself, like... self-imposed cryogenic storage. Yeah.
I deserved it.
Mm.
So we're even, right?
We are.
Oh yeah, you shot more than one person. Dude, yeah. It's gonna be Hunt next, it's gonna be thingy, the Trip, then it's gonna be Sky.
What are you doing in here?
That's Agent 33! Did they break her? They broke Agent 33!
Thank you. I appreciate it.
Happy to comply.
No, she couldn't do it all day. Oh no.
Your father is alive. He's looking for you. And someday, if you let me, I'll take you to him.
No thanks, Raina will do that. She's already on, she's already been given that mission.
We're done here.
Yeah. And Raina's been working more recently with her father than you ever have. So BPM 98, 90. Oh god, hitting the hundreds. Oh shit. Yeah, hitting those high hundreds. Okay, that's the end of the episode. But I kinda need to go pee, so I'll be back in a mo.
One eternity later.
Okay, alright. Mo over. Moment over. Okay. So, plenty of stuff going down in this episode. Okay, where the fuck do I start? Where do I actually start with this? Because Agent 33, I'll start there. That seems to be the kind of simpler thing to start off with. So Agent 33 was an agent formerly of S.HIELD, and we find out that Hydra is actually not just scurrying around the globe, still doing their thing, but they're actually on the lookout to further recruit S.HIELD agents. So, oh god, I'm actually out of breath. Give me a second. Give me another second. So Hydra wasn't just about first they made their ranks and their power clear by revealing the Hydra agents that were already in Shield. So they kind of, they're like in terms of their rebirth into the modern world, they made their kind of existing members clearer. And so now it was now I think knowing that Shield was crumbling and that Shield was struggling to regain its own balance, it was more about actually taking in Shield agents and Shield assets and recruiting them to their cause. So you crumble the opposition, and then from them you steal whatever it is they have left, until you remove them properly. And I think it was like Coulson mentioned, their best and brightest. So Agent 33 herself, we saw that she lasted a long time under their torture methods. But it was about breaking them down until they were ready to comply. So that stuff is just and I think it may well have been a very, very selective kind of process as well, actually finding out who actually were what agents were high up in Shield's ranks and which ones were actually good agents and skilled agents, and actually finding the best of theirs to use against them. Agent 33 was the one we saw being personally brainwashed by Dr. Whitehall, using the kind of ticking of I don't know if it's a clock, or I've seen that thing before. I'd like the thing that was moving to that side and ticking. I don't know what it is. I've seen it before, some kind of meter, I think, but it was making that kind of rhythmic ticking sound, and she had the visual stimuli that she was being held, that her eyes were being pinned open by the machine as well. So, and also that, and Whitehall's actual speech as well, and actually her talking, and you could see it was taking a toll. You could see it was breaking her down. She had bags under her eyes, her tears were forming, and she was tired and everything, but she held her own for a good enough amount of time. I'd think that, given what S.H.I.E.L.D. is, given that it sends people out into the field to do all these missions, I would assume that, they do put S.H.I.E.L.D. agents under pretty rigorous kind of training regimes and put them under programs to help them build some sense of resistance against torture methods, mental and physical. So, there's a very, very good explanation as to why she lasted so long, but unfortunately, despite my support, she could not do this all day. She couldn't do it all day. She was not capped, but she was still a very formidable agent. But in the end, it just proved to be too much for her, and she was ready to come out. I think even then, the stuff like the brainwashing, it's meant to break your mind down, and it's designed to actually, break your mind down and actually remold it to the way that they want it to. And it's meant to be for the best and brightest. Like the brainwashing isn't just pick a handful of S.H.I.E.L.D. agents at random and then brainwash them. It's actually pick the ones that that are incredibly well built and incredibly good at what they do, and break them down and rebuild them to yours. Pick the ones who are already good, but then reshape that good for your own purposes. I think the brainwashing thing, we know it started. I assume it started with the whole Winter Soldier stuff. Like Bucky was, I think, the first or one of the first way back when. They brainwashed him. He became one of their best, if not the best, of their assassins. And then in Civil War, we saw that that they had other Hydra agents that were theirs, and they kind of built them up to be Winter Soldiers too. But I think they required no brainwashing, from what we saw anyway. But in Civil War, we also saw the method they used. They would put him on ice, and then when he came out again, they would kind of reprogram him using those words. The guy had that handbook of different words like benign, homecoming, freight train, all that sort of stuff. And he would be under the that machine that fit around his head, and it would kind of charge his brain with electricity, frying it completely. And then they'd reprogram him with those Hydra keywords. But then in the present day, it would be more. It would be more that we saw Zemo use that same book, but his brain had been conditioned well enough to those words that he wouldn't really require the electricity as much, and it would just be a case of hearing those words, and he would be under Hydra control again, and it'd be like ready to comply, soldier, and he'd be like ready to comply in Russian, of course. But yeah, with this one, I think it was just a matter of that kind of speech pattern. Them saying I think what even was it? Let me go back and actually check it from when Bakshi was saying it. Let me go back and check. Yeah, it's like what's best is you comply. Compliance will be rewarded, and then do you comply? So it's actually telling them, you need to, what's best for you is that you work for us and all that sort of stuff. So reminding them of what their purpose within Hydra is and reminding what their mission is. So Agent 33, by the end of it, we see that she is broken. She is ready to comply. She's ready to comply. So she did not last very long, so that is rather unfortunate. But yeah, I think it was good to see. It was interesting to see that that Hydra brainwashing coming in, because in the movies, again, we only see that it's worked with the Winter Soldier, but with this one, this without doubt takes place way before Civil War or any of that stuff. But yeah, I mean, movie-wise, I think the next big thing coming up for this season, maybe, or like next season, would be probably Age of Ultron, maybe. I don't know, maybe, because this is far enough after the Winter Soldier that it comes up to Phase 2 of the MCU. So I think it makes sense that this would be like pre-Age of Ultron, like big movie-wise, or at least Avengers movie-wise. But yeah, so interesting to see that brainwashing technique coming back in. I think at first I thought it would probably be hypnosis, which I mean, with brainwashing, hypnosis, I think it's similar enough. I mean, both of them make both hypnosis and brainwashing make the victim susceptible to suggestions. Like hypnosis, I mean, hypnosis always has especially in the media. I think from what I've seen anyway, it always has that kind of more comedic connotation to it. You control them, make them do whatever you want, and all that stuff. With brainwashing, it's literally conditioning the person's mind to be someone completely different, to have completely different motives and an identity different as a whole. And especially with Bucky, we've seen that with Bucky. The Winter Soldier is a completely different identity, some like a literal assassin created to murder people that to comply with Hydra's demands, whatever. And Bucky is a victim to all of that. So brainwashing is miles more mentally damaging and stuff. So yeah, but I mean, seeing the visual stimuli at the beginning and the ticking sound, I thought probably hypnosis, but then that leads up to brainwashing. So yeah, that was cool to see coming back into the fold. And Mr. Bakshi is the other guy who's presumably his Whitehall's second in command or something, just dealing with the just kind of the first person you go to, and then Whitehall is the one who actually brings out the big guns. So interesting to see. And then we find out exactly what Simmons has been doing. I could not have been more far off. My initial theory being, oh, you know what? Maybe this shield falling apart stuff was too much for her. Maybe it was too big for her to handle. She knew her family. She needed to go back and make sure they were safe. Maybe she was back home in England getting her thoughts straight. Could not have been more far off. She was working for Hydra. As soon as I saw the Hydra logo, I was like, I'm sorry, what? This has to be some kind of alternate universe shit, because the Simmons I know would never go for Hydra. She would never work for Hydra. As soon as I saw that logo, the table was turned. I was like, my mind literally blew open. What? What has Simmons been doing? It never even crossed my mind this would be an undercover mission. I thought literally, I have to be so wrong here. Tell me Simmons is not working for Hydra. But yeah, I mean, she was still in America. I mean, her still being in America was a telltale sign that something was up for me. She's still in America, but she's not with S.H.I.E.L.D. She's working at some kind of lab, but she's not working with S.H.I.E.L.D. I thought maybe she just went to work for a pharmaceuticals company or something, or maybe she was just doing something simpler where she could still, apply her talents usefully. And you can bet she was applying her talents usefully, just for the wrong side of the coin. But yeah, she was working for Hydra. I thought, I mean, she didn't really. I mean, she didn't seem happy in there. She didn't seem comfortable. So I figured, there has to be something bigger going on that I'm not getting here. And I never could have imagined that Coulson would have sent her to Hydra, knowing, what that whole game is like. So yeah, but yeah, seeing Simmons. I mean, she's rocking the short hair too. Like I said, all the ladies in the show. Season 2 just having great hair. I mean, season 1 everything's great, but yeah, season 2. Sky's rocking bangs. Melinda May is just aging like a fine wine. And Simmons herself is rocking that shorter little neck-length bob cut. So it's all great. But yeah, she was working for Hydra, but she was an undercover agent. She was sent there on Coulson's orders to make friends and influence people. Roll credits. But yeah, she was working as an undercover agent there, and he wanted her to climb the ranks and see what she could do. And I think it's an interesting kind of route to go down, having at least one person on the inside, But I think he should have known it was a risky move, right? Because I mean, Bakshi uncovered her shield background. He not only uncovered his shield background, but also uncovered that she knew Donnie Gill, which was one of the assets they were after. So I feel like, you know, he could have, I mean, without a doubt, he probably did go to some pretty extreme lengths, but knowing Hydra, they were still good enough to find something. But yeah, I feel like he probably should have tried harder, like actually remove any and all kind of thing. And I think knowing Hydra as well, like the Hydra would always be on the lookout for like fresh talent or like good talent in some way. So you know, like the fact that Hydra is trying to secure like shield like material assets alone, like you know, like technology and other stuff, is a telltale sign that you know they're on the lookout for the good stuff. So that can mean both weapons and tech, and also people. So if they go after gifted people that Shield has gone after before, that means they could connect some stuff. I feel like it could have been done better, but you know stuff went sideways anyway. So I mean, she handled it. I mean, Sky made a good point that you know she's a terrible liar, which we saw back in season 1 with Sitwell. You know, you have a lovely head. But May also pointed out that you know these are different times. It's not time for joking around anymore. Like things are much more serious, and Simmons knows that. So she's very well aware of how much better at lying she has to be, and she handled herself well. So she did point out that you know her loyalty is not to Hydra or Shield, but to science, and you know she's willing to work for any side that can allow her to you know put her skills to good use and actually you know do some good research. So yeah, and 17 years old and 2 PhDs. That is impressive. So yeah, I think in season 1 she did mention. I mean, for Coulson, I think it was probably in the pilot episode maybe, but he did. I think Coulson did mention that you know like when I think it was probably in the pilot that you know that Fitz and Simmons were wondering how to save Mike. I think, and then you know they couldn't come up with something, or they couldn't come up with any solutions. And then Coulson was like, you know, Fitz, you have this, and that, and then he was like, Simmons, you have 2 PhDs in fields I don't even know how to pronounce. So I'm positive you can come up with something useful. So yeah, I think it's just a nice thing to know. Like she's a very very capable and smart and intelligent woman. So she definitely knows her way around. I think her fields are what, like biochem. And like I think just organic material and like living things and the way chemistry affects that stuff. So she's smart. She's very very capable. She knows her way around the sciences, and she can handle herself inside Hydra as well. She's known that she's lasted for this long. I assume it was after season 1 ended that you know he sent her on that thing, and only Coulson and Melinda knew. Only Coulson and May knew. So Coulson, I mean. May, that makes sense that you know he would trust her with that information. She would know how to not let that slip, and it would probably be you know she would definitely agree with no one else on the team knowing as well. Like the less people that know, the better. I think it would have been within the few months time gap between season 1 and season 2 that stuff went down. So she's lasted this long. She clearly knows how to go undercover. But with you know for the sake of this episode, this story. Her cover somewhat gets blown, so yeah, and I think she never, and Hydra never knew she worked for SHIELD beforehand either. That alone is suspicious. The fact that you know someone who worked for SHIELD is now willing to work for Hydra, so can't blame them. Can't blame them for being curious and concerned. But she stood her ground. And did what they wanted her to do. She spoke to Donnie, and he even told her what to say, like the whole, you know, take a deep breath, be, you know, just, you know, surrender, compliance will be rewarded and all that sort of stuff. So she was, you know, saying those key phrases through Bakshi. So yeah, but yeah, so yeah, it's good to see her back, and I thought, you know, I was surprised that Coulson seemingly found her in her apartment so quickly. I was like, okay. Like, I mean, if she's working for Hydra, that it sounds like, I mean, you know, before having found out that she was undercover, you know, if she's working for Hydra, then, you know, I thought, you know, okay, maybe this is something that she doesn't want them to know about. But again, this doesn't make sense to me. Why would she do this? And then Coulson finds out so quickly, and I was like, oh, okay, wait till Coulson finds out that she's working for Hydra. No need. He's the one that told her to go there. She was working under his orders. So yeah, it's a very welcome return. Very welcome return. I didn't think we'd be seeing Simmons so soon, but you know, given what she's doing, I think it is better that, you know, the earlier we find out, very much the better. Very much the better. So, yeah, so Simmons is still there. Simmons' cover still needs to be intact. She needs to find. She still needs to find a way to actually, climb up the ranks. But now Bakshi seems to be adamant that she move up to Whitehall's level. So I think they're going to try and brainwash her next. They managed to do it with Agent 33. She's now ready to comply. So I think the brainwashing is going to be with Simmons next. So I'm hoping it doesn't go through with it. I'm hoping they don't go through with it. But I think, and especially knowing that, like Agent 33, Simmons used to work for SHIELD. So I think, the more SHIELD agents they brainwash for their side, the better. The more of their weapons that they can use for their own cause. So yeah, but damn, this is so much to take in, but yeah, what else? So that was Simmons' stuff. So I mean, yeah, Simmons. I don't know what else there's to say about it. She's an undercover agent for Hydra. She's working under Coulson. So I don't know what more she's gonna do for them though. Because now I think given Bakshi's adamance that that they move her up a level. I think the next step might be prepping her for a brainwash. I don't know if they move her straight into brainwashing, but I think he wants her to prove her loyalty to Hydra. I think unlocking Donnie's brainwashing. Hydra had already taken the sandbox. They had already gotten to Donnie way before Hydra's actual uprisal. So they had already gotten through to him as well with the brainwashing. So all that was needed to unlock his brainwashing with the phrase work. So I feel like with this one, with her proving her loyalty, I think maybe they might not move immediately to brainwashing her. Maybe they might just try and prove her kind of unbrainwashed loyalty to Hydra first, and maybe if they do move her up to Whitehall's level, maybe they might just make her work under them. Maybe they'll try and see how she can help them brainwash other people and prove that she has no loyalty or connection to SHIELD anymore. So yeah, this undercover work, I think I have faith she's built for it, but I don't know how far she's actually going to be able to go with all this stuff. But damn, okay, so that was that. We had Donnie back. We had Dylan Minnette coming back as Donnie Gill, the ice guy. So he managed to control his powers in the sandbox. He managed to control and amplify his powers, so he could touch it. I mean, I think it was still a matter of anything he touches turns to ice. But in this episode, we see that he's not in a safe environment. He's not in he's not really in the best condition. He's on the run from Hydra. He knows that they're after him. And he made it very clear he's not afraid of them. He's not interested in whatever offer they've got for him, and he's not afraid of them either. He's pissed off. He's willing to kill anyone that comes their way. And the guy who gave him the tea in the first place or whatever, he fibbed, he blabbed. So he made a point of turning him to ice and then pushing him out of the way to the point where he just turns into just chopped up blocks and shit. So yeah, so Donnie, I think it was less that he was afraid and more that he was annoyed with them and wanted them to leave him alone. But Hydra was too interested in him to actually go down that route. So they sent Simmons in to prove her loyalty. But yeah, I think it made more sense that we saw him turning stuff to ice more and more and actually damaging the environment and damaging people, because he knew that Hydra was after him, and he knew that he wasn't really safe. So he needed to be willing to use his powers on them to actually survive. So that is more of the Donnie we see in this episode, the one who has to survive, and he's willing to do so. But yeah, so that was Donnie, and he went under the same Winter Soldier brainwashing too. He was susceptible to that speech pattern. We had May training Sky. So May, we know that in the month space between season 1 and season 2, we know that May has been training Sky with her combat and her undercover agent work, her agent work in general, and her ballistics work, her gun work in this episode in particular. She's been practicing with her target practice, and she's been trying to work on getting her heart rate under control as well. So I'm assuming that 90 is the acceptable one, like 80 to 90 is the acceptable heart rate, is what she's working on getting. Like if we go back to when she's doing target practice, she was at, what was she at? Okay, so her first one with the target practice was 61 beats per minute. So yeah, so I think there's a healthy heart rate as well. You can't let it get too low. But I think keeping it like 50 to 80, maybe 50 to 70 is probably like the kind of the well control. It's what she's trying to teach her in this. Like this is step one, like control over mind, body, and sense of self, and all of that stuff. So keeping yourself controlled, especially in a hostile environment where you're probably going to be surrounded by enemies, and you have to keep yourself under control. Make sure you can actually visualize everything correctly. Think ahead, control whatever you can to keep yourself alive. So that sort of stuff. And then other times she was like 70, 80. But then when talking to Ward in the end, she, after receiving that kind of emotionally triggering information, like, oh, I know about your father, I can take you to him, like hearing about where she, her father, someone she comes from, her background, her history, something, like stuff that she knows very little about, her heart rate just skyrockets like to 90, 100, 110, that kind of stuff. So at that point, those kinds of emotional triggers in terms of, the way that makes her think and feel, that sort of stuff is what she needs to get under control. So yeah, it's a neat way, just a little smartwatch to track her heart rate and stuff. So yeah, but yeah, Sky, her training is going fairly well. I think she can handle herself in the field. She's proven that with these first few episodes. So it's good to see that the training is paying off. And I think even in the first episode, Ward pointed out that May's been training you. That's good. You're right-handed, or something like she proficient with one hand. So May was training her with the other, so she can get used to both of them. So that's one way to do it. And especially I think when you're holding guns as well, like you focus better from one angle, so you need to learn to practice from both. Especially, if you're holding like a handgun, then you just hold that in front of you. But if you're like holding like a rifle or something, then you actually have to balance that on like one or the other. So it's good to actually be able to do it from both. But yeah, so her training is going fairly well. We had May shooting Hunter back as well, so. That was his one. He shot May, Sky, and what's his name? Trip. I keep forgetting his name. I don't know why. He shot Trip too, and even Trip said when Hunter said May shot him, he was like, "Damn, I want to be the one to do that." Then he even asked at the end, like, so we're even now, and she said, "Well, we are even, but I'm not the only one you shot." And then just Trip looking like, "Yeah, your time will come, buddy boy. Your time with me will come, and I'm gonna be savoring that till the end." But yeah, I don't know if I wouldn't doubt that Sky wants to get hers back on him, but I think maybe she's just staying quiet about it so that she can really surprise him with it. But yeah, and she didn't even shoot him with an ISO either. Like May never shot. I think May never shot him with an ISO. She shot him with an actual pistol. So lucky he had body armor on. But yeah, that was cool. And boy, the scene that shook me to my core. You guys know what I'm on about. You know what I'm on about. Fitz visiting Ward. That scene. As soon as he entered Vault D, I knew shit was about to go down. I knew it was about to go down like Candy Town. That makes no sense, but just roll with it. I think as soon as he went down there, I knew. Vault D, wait, that's where Ward is. Why is Fitz going to visit Ward? Fitz, why are you going to visit Ward? This will not end well. And even Ward seeing him, like, Ward is only ever used to seeing Sky. Ward is only ever used to seeing Sky going on there. So he's like, oh great, Sky's about to visit me again. Oh, shit. It's the person I tried to kill. Fitz is actually the one visiting him. And just seeing Fitz... Hats off to Ian DeCastiga. Hats off to Ian DeCastiga. He pulled that scene off so well. Like him executing like the severity of Fitz's condition was so well done, and him handling that kind of scene with Brett Dalton as well. Brett Dalton handled it so well. Like both of them, tremendous actors. Just the way that scene was pulled off, I was on the edge of my seat, just not knowing what was going to happen. And it's like the actual emotional depth of that scene too. Like, Fitz actually, facing the person who tried to kill him, and even Ward's insistence that, oh, I didn't try and kill you. I just, the people pointed out in the comments that, the way he killed them, was the way he killed Buddy too. Like he distanced himself from the situation. But in Fitzsimmons' case, he dropped them in the ocean, but he did it in a way that he knew that they were smart enough to get out. And he knew that they could handle it, so he didn't have to kill them directly. Garrett's orders were put a bullet through their heads, and that would be instant death. But with this one, he knew that they were in a pod that would be able to withstand the pressure and stuff of the water, but they would need to get out eventually. So they would figure out which is that. But what he didn't take into account was exactly the consequences and the actual drawbacks of their escape plan, which was Fitz suffering from lack of oxygen and being knocked out as well from it all, and then suffering brain damage because of it. And he has hypoxia now. I'm going to look that up, see what that is. Hypoxia. It's a brain injury, condition in which the body or a region of the body is deprived of adequate oxygen supply at the tissue level. I mean, the brain is a fairly vital organ, so it being deprived of oxygen, which is a vital element of the body, is understandably damaging. And with Fitz, it's given him brain damage to the point where he can't really get words out properly. He can't think properly. He's very very traumatized from the attack, and the way other people treat him as well is only making the condition worse. What we've seen from Fitz so far is the fact that he doesn't want to be treated differently. He wants to believe that he's okay, that he's not broken, that he's not going to break apart if something happens. But the way other people treat him and the way the team treats him is noticeably different. He knows that much, and that's why Simmons is there. Simmons was the one person he could talk to, the one person that treated him like he was actually okay, and the one person he could actually the person that used to help him get his words out. But now things are very, very different for him, and he knows that, and I think deep down he knows he's not okay, but he wants to be okay so badly that he's denying that. And now he even took the time this episode to actually, go be face to face with his attempted murder. And what Ward did is still attempted murder, whether or not he intended to kill them, whether or not he whether or not he knew that they would survive or not. What he did is still attempted murder. It's still attempted murder. So the fact that Fitz is coming face to face with someone like that is just mind blowing as a whole. The fact that he has the strength to do that, and his initial reaction as well, he looked like he was having a panic attack. Like he's face to face with the guy who tried to kill him and his friend. The fact that his breathing is heavy, he just has to sit down. He can't do this properly. He needs a second, like that kind of stuff. Ian is tremendous. Ian is an absolutely tremendous actor. But yeah, and the fact that he gave him some of his own treatment as well. I thought with the tablet, I thought he was going to take down the force field or something and talk to him actually face to face. I was actually worried, don't let him out. But no, I'd imagine the force field stuff that requires some form of authority. Some form of authority. I'd imagine that you not just anyone can put some random button and then all the security goes off. Even in the first episode, Sky mentioned there's not some kind of off button I can accidentally press. But then Koenig said, "Don't worry, you'll be fine." So I'd imagine any actual release button or release functions require the authority of at least Coulson to decide. So yeah, but what he could do was actually decrease the level of oxygen in the cell, because that was what happened. Hypoxia is when the brain is actually deprived of oxygen, which was what Fitz had, and even Fury mentioned it. He went without oxygen for a few minutes, but he'll be okay somewhat. So he was actually giving Ward a taste of that, showing him what it feels like to actually lose that and actually to feel like you're dying. So yeah, but that was interesting to see, and I think Fitz was never going to kill him. He even said in the end he's not a killer. He was never actually going to leave him without oxygen for too long. I think for one thing he wanted information, but for another thing he wanted to get back at Ward. I think he wanted to actually make Ward feel what he felt, and to think he started off with Ward, with refusing to believe that Ward was Hydra, believing that after everything that they'd been through, Ward was, for one thing, still a good guy, and for another thing, still their friend. Him being captured on board the bus, and trying to convince Ward to kill Garrett, and that he was still a good guy, all that stuff. He had faith in Ward right until the end, and now he's face to face with the guy that put him in such a critical condition, and a guy that changed his life presumably forever. hypoxia. This is the first time I've heard of it, so I don't know exactly how severe of a case it can be or what treatments there are for it. But I mean, with Fitz, I mean, I would hope that this doesn't go on forever, but I feel like this is something that's going to take time and dedication and very, very explicit care for him to deal with, and he needs the help of everyone around him, which is why it's good he's got the team on his side. So yeah, but I think him going up against the guy who did this to him was, I mean, I don't know whether it's brave or stupid, but I think, you know, it was still something he needed, and I think it shows that, you know, it just goes to show how how he sees the team now, because everyone is hiding it from him. No one told him what the mission was. No one told him about Simmons, about Donnie, about Sky, about anything. Stuff's being kept from him so much that, you know, he really felt that his last resort was Ward. And eventually Ward did tell him. So yeah, so I mean, I doubt that this means that, you know, I doubt that this means that Ward has any level of fear towards Fitz. Like, he's not really afraid of him. He knows that Fitz isn't a killer. I think part of him still knows that, you know, Fitz would never have actually gone through with it. He just wanted him to, you know, see what it felt like and actually punish him a little bit. But Fitz himself, he said he isn't a killer. He was never going to do that to him. But, you know, I think at this point, Fitz just more than anything, he wants to believe that he's fit. That there's not really that much wrong with him, and that he's not really broken or anything. But there's been too much damage for him to actually even think straight. So yeah, that scene. I think that scene is what scared me more than anything in this episode. That scene definitely took some breath out of me. So yeah, but again, just hats off to Ian DeCastica and Brett Dalton for actually pulling off that scene so well, and Ian is just phenomenal. Ian is phenomenal. So yeah, that was a great scene to see, and I think in the end as well, I think when Sky was talking to him, to Ward, I think not even then, but beforehand when Ward was telling her about the brainwashing stuff. For one thing, Ward was never brainwashed. He was just a dick. Because of all the abuse he endured from his family, he was rebuilt by Garrett, but then he kind of used that abuse and used it for even worse. And he said he was never loyal to Hydra, but he was loyal to Garrett, and Garrett was loyal to Hydra because of the, you know, inadequate support he received from SHIELD. But now I think he's. But Ward. What was I gonna say? What was I gonna say? I lost my train of thought. You know, Ward made a point of saying that, you know, I think he made some kind of point of like saying, like, you know, he was only gonna tell her the truth, and that he was only gonna, you know, like, not what she wanted to hear, but he was only gonna tell her the truth, in the sense that in the sense that one day when he finally does tell her the big truth, she'll believe him. And again, that has the subtext of him wearing her down with smaller truths, so that when the big truth comes up, it's easier for him to manipulate her with it. But in the end, like, we as the audience know that them. I mean, we've never been given confirmation before that he knows about her father. Like, he knows about the story Raina told him, that, you know, about the Hunan province in China, about the monster that tore a village apart looking for their baby, and the fact that the monsters were the parents. We know that he knows that much. Like, you know, even when he heard that story, the reaction he had was that he had never heard anything like that before. That he was as confused as anyone else, and this was the first time he was hearing it. So we don't know for sure how much he actually knows about her parents. But, you know, the fact that, you know, he knows that there was a village once, the monsters tore it apart and all that sort of stuff, we know that much. But Raina has been working with her father recently, so she, you know, undoubtedly has a much stronger connection. But, you know, with Ward in this case, like, right now, all we know is that he knows her father is still alive. I mean, he claims he knows her father is still alive, but how he knows, we don't know. But I mean, maybe he has some other Hydra intel. I mean, it's the only reason they're keeping him around anyway. So maybe his knowledge of her father is some other Hydra intel that, you know, he's until now chosen to keep under wraps. But I think what's even worse is that he's teasing her with it. He's teasing her with it. Like in the first episode, we saw that he was leading up to it, but then just after she closed down the shield, the force field blinds or whatever, he did kind of say, "Oh, I know about your father," and then now he's saying, you know, like, he's saying now the big truth that he's hiding from her is that, you know, I know about your father and I can take you to him. So he's slowly luring her in with it. And I think the fact that they've got a force field is pretty telling for him, because I mean, it's obvious that they have a force field because they don't trust him, but then it also brings up the question of, what would his actual motives and intentions and first actions be if and when that force field gets taken down? Once that force field goes down, what would happen then? Would he attack? Would he actually attack anyone, like be it Sky or anyone else who's down there? Like, they're not sending anyone else down there, but like Coulson even said, he doesn't even want to look at him. He doesn't even want to have to know that Ward is down there, but he still has to accept it because Ward is their intelligence goldmine. So they're not sending anyone else down there. Fitz made it. Fitz went down there of his own choice, and I wonder, like, Mac was so obsessed with, I think, what was it, Left 4 Dead 2? What was he playing? He said, yeah, he killed like a boomer or something, which isn't like an okay boomer thing. Like, he killed like an actual legitimate boomer down there. But what was it? I don't know if it's Left 4 Dead 2. No, he killed a boomer of some sort, but it's not Left 4 Dead 2. No. But yeah, he's so preoccupied with the Xbox. I mean, he even told Fitz about his plans. That are like, Koenig's elsewhere, so he won't be hogging up the Xbox. But then he doesn't even care to check if Fitz wants to play Xbox or not. He's just too preoccupied with shooting people down. So yeah, I feel like Max should have known that Fitz wasn't around or what Fitz was doing. But regardless, no harm came to Fitz because of his condition. But yeah, Mac, yeah. So I mean, I feel like Mac should have been there. But regardless, I mean, some good came out of Fitz and Ward's interaction. Like, he found out about the sandbox thing and the brainwashing and stuff like that. So yeah, there was that. What else was there? Well, I think with Fitz, I think he is slowly coming to terms with it, because I think in that scene he did say, he did say in that scene, I should be out there with them, helping them get to Donnie, but I can't because of how damaged I am now. So he's somewhat coming to terms with the fact that he's damaged, and he's even, I think, even in the last episode, like, Mac asked him, like, how have you been dealing with Simmons being like not being here? It can't be easy on you once she left. And he looks over at her and she waves back and stuff. But I think he's slowly come to terms with the fact that she's left, because even in this one, in the end, his mental kind of depiction of her was talking to him, and then he was like, well, why am I even talking to you? You're not even here. And then she disappeared immediately. So he's coming to terms with stuff slowly, but he's coming to terms with it. So for one thing, he knows that Simmons isn't here, and he even knows that Coulson gave him confirmation that Simmons left. And she's on an assignment, but didn't really give him much further than that. And now he's coming to terms with the fact that the Simmons he sees is not the same one as the Simmons that lives and breathes on the same planet Earth as them. She's a very different Simmons. She's the one he remembers. Someone pointed out as well in the last episode that Simmons is wearing the same clothes as she wore in season 1, episode 6. Now, what was episode 6? I think, because I don't remember. I don't remember many episodes by their actual number, but more by the title or what happens to them. So season 1, episode 6, Fizzed. Fizzed. That was the one with the Jatari virus, wasn't it? The one where Simmons tried to sacrifice herself by jumping out the plane. That was the one we arguably got more development from Simmons, the one we find out more about her, and the one that where Fitz and Simmons worked to save her from the virus. So I think it makes sense that given that one was an emotional high point for them, it's the one that he remembers from there as well, like same hair, same clothes, all that sort of stuff. So yeah, that's interesting. But from the end of it with the ending scene with Sky and Ward, I think she talked about the abuse he endured from them, but then she also mentioned something else. Yeah, she said that they're all aware of his family, and not only are they respected, they're pretty much loved. So makes you wonder who his family is, the Wards, because his first name isn't Ward. His first name is Grant. His name is Grant Douglas Ward. But who are the Wards then? Are they like some kind of rich family, or like what? Because I think I always imagined it like his background would be that his family was just like a working class family, and his parents abused him, but his brother also abused him and made him abuse his younger brother. So it was like a cycle of abuse that he suffered from. But I never imagined his family to be anything that big, like to be respected and loved. I mean, when I heard those words, I initially imagined that his family had riches and that they had positions of power, like respected and much loved. Maybe they were seen as good people. And then he said every family has a secret. So on the outside, it seemed like a picture perfect family, but on the inside, it was a cycle of abuse that was running through that he very much suffered from. So it's what they did to it's what they did to tear him down, and then he was built back up by Garrett. So it makes me wonder who his family is, but I'm sure we'll find that out all in good time. I'm actually out of breath from talking so quickly. I have a tendency to talk quickly as well, which causes me to stammer along with my words, but I'm working on it. But hopefully this was a good enough review of this episode, and hopefully a good enough reaction too. So yeah, but great episode to get back into. A great way of continuing along the season 2 cycle. Great to see Simmons back. Awesome to see Simmons back. I think I didn't expect to see Simmons back so quickly after questioning where she was, but it's good to see. It's good that we get an explanation of where she is and a visual confirmation of where she is, and that my fears of her working for Hydra were not as severe as they originally were. Now we know that she's working undercover, so we'll see. Especially with Bakshi's plans to move her up further on. It's it's her mission to gain ranks and make friends, but with the way the Bakshi's going, he might try and mind control her or make her do stuff to prove her loyalty to SHIELD, to Hydra even. But yeah, we'll see. We will see exactly where the stuff goes. But Donnie, I almost forgot. Donnie, he's underwater as well. He's kind of, I mean, the way he froze himself up in water, I imagined he was placing himself under cryogenic storage. Like he fell through the ice, and I imagined he knew how to protect himself from that. But as we saw him sinking further, he was putting himself into cryo freeze. So I imagine for now he'll be safe, maybe. Like because I think Bakshi never went back for him. Hydra hasn't announced any further plans to relocate him. So I imagine that when they have the opportunity and the resources, SHIELD themselves will put some kind of operation together to find him again. Otherwise, because he's in cryo freeze, but I don't imagine that they'll leave him down there forever. But I imagine he'll be okay for now, and he'll just pop up somewhere else, or thaw himself out in time. But yeah, Donnie is underwater and in a bit of an ice cube, so he's following Steve's routine, following Steve's kind of recovery pattern. So yeah, but I don't think they'll be waiting 70 years to thaw him out. But yeah, in time we'll see him. But it's good to know he's still alive. But bad to know that he is under Hydra's brainwashing technique. So we'll need to find a way to take that out of him. But all in good time. So that is pretty much all I've got written down. Anything I missed, please let me know in the comments, and anything I misinterpreted, as always, feel free to correct me. But hope you guys enjoyed the reaction. I love this episode, so that's that. But yeah, that's pretty much all I have. So that was Marvel's Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. Season 2, Episode 3, titled Making Friends and Influencing People, which is one of Hydra's concerns right now. So yeah, that is it for this episode. So thank you guys so much for watching this video. If you guys enjoyed it, then salt and burn that like button. Comment on what you thought of the episode and what you think is coming up next in the season. And yeah, that's it. So I will see you guys next time.